It's time now to check your money with America's money maven, Vicki Brackens. Vicki Brackens is the president of Brackens Financial Solutions Network, LLC, and a registered representative of LPL Financial, member SIPC. Vicki, good morning to you. But before you begin, I want the audience to know that you tried to pull a fast one on us last
wait a
week.
minute.
Yes, you did. So, ladies and gentlemen, in the midst of all of this lovely fall, beautiful weather, we had Vicki Brackens turn another turn around the sun. So we want to say officially happy birthday to our very dear Vicki Brackens, the Libra, balancing the scales. And we hope that your birthday was fantastic.
Listen, George, I wasn't really trying to pull a fast one.
You ain't say nothing though.
But you're right. I didn't say anything. I didn't say anything because I was just really trying to keep it, let's say, quiet this year.
Okay.
But I appreciate the fact that many of you remembered. And even though it was a little bit late because I didn't remind anybody or make a big deal about it, but thank you very much anyway for wishing me a happy birthday. And I'm looking forward to many more. Okay, as you say, trips around the sun and all the cake and oh my God, the cake.
Did you have a good
cake?
Cake?
Oh, my sister and my brother-in-law, Tammy and Fred, brought by one of the famous Connie Decker cakes. I have to explain that to you later.
Oh, yes. Fred turned me on to Connie Decker.
Okay, that cake was crazy. And so anyway, thank you very much. And I'll say, it's October, so I just kind of celebrate the whole month of October as far as my birthday is concerned.
Oh, and by the way, shout out to my sister Sherry, whose birthday was also this past week.
Oh, hey,
her birthday's on the 19th.
All right, okay. Then I have to reach out to Sherry and say happy birthday too. So George, this week we're going to concentrate on two things. One, a fallen hero, and the second thing being what's happening at the pump. And so I'll start with the fallen hero, which I'm sure everybody knows that I'm referring to the late General Colin Powell, Secretary Powell, who we lost this week. As far as the reported ending event was complications from COVID due to other underlying medical conditions that he had.
Cancer,
those
among
things,
others.
And there were several underlying medical conditions, which many of us didn't know about,
right?
Because of who he is. And that what I mean by that is that he is a very private, very dignified, very focused individual, has been all of his life and all of his career. So there was not a lot of publicity around the other conditions that he was battling. But what I want to concentrate on this morning is, first of all, of course, to the family, we send our condolences. But the fact that throughout his career, there was one thing that we always knew, and that was that we could depend on his word. So when that was taken from him, and if you look at some of his memoirs and some of the interviews that he did following the speech that he made to the UN, it was obvious that he had been sideswiped. It was obvious that he was falling.
You're talking about the weapons of mass destruction speech,
right? The speech, okay, that he was falling on the sword for the country, and it was a lesson that I learned during that time as far as accountability, how to stand in the face of adversity and still stand with dignity. And I've always wondered, and I've been thinking about this a lot, how could he do that so well, yet so many in this country who are in leadership do not or did not learn that lesson? And this is Vicki's opinion, understand that. In my opinion, what I saw and what I've realized over the last 2 or 3 days and thinking back over that time period is that because he believed he was telling the truth, when he found that the truth had been hidden from him, he had no hesitation in coming to the country and saying, I was wrong. this is what actually happened, and here's the steps that we should take going forward, versus obfuscating. Did I say that properly?
Obfuscating, yeah.
Obfuscating
Mm-hmm.
the truth, which is what we have lived under for many, many, many administrations and many, many events, in fact, that we're living through even today.
I was going to say, and continue to do so, right?
Okay.
I wanted to add to your characterization of General Powell also the fact that ideologically, you know, he obviously was Republican in that sense, which is not a good thing or a bad thing. But the fact of the matter is, he still commanded himself in a way that wasn't. If he disagreed with his party on an issue, he spoke on it, right?
He spoke on it. Okay.
He spoke on it, and I think the biggest moment for me is when he said, "I'm voting for Barack Obama," and I thought that was a significant, among the many significant achievements, obviously, General Powell. But I think being willing to stand up in that moment was pretty significant at that time.
It was absolutely significant, along with, okay, as I was saying earlier, his stance on correcting an issue, correcting rather than, as you pointed out, standing with the party, standing with the status quo, standing with the big lie, standing.
Right.
He stood in the truth and made it very well known, and corrected a mistake and corrected it with dignity. So that's the lesson that I have learned, one of them from him. You know, I had the opportunity very, very briefly to attend an event that he was a guest speaker for many years ago for the African American Association of Financial Planners there in DC. And I remember one of the funniest things he ever said. They asked the question, what does he miss about being in government? And you know what he said?
What?
I miss my plane. I miss my plane. And he gave us this entire two-minute episode on what it was like to have his private plane as Secretary of State with his, he used to say, and they would have my Diet Coke sitting right there at the stairs as we went into the plane. And I knew that life was good once they handed me that Diet Coke, that the job was done. I miss my plane. All right, George. Okay, but again, condolences to the family and to the country, because we lost a hero. Okay?
I know a lot of flags have flown, have staff this week.
Exactly. All right. Now, I also mentioned that I want to talk about what's happening at the pump.
It's crazy.
Have you noticed? Okay. It felt like something just kind of crept up on us. Have you noticed that gas prices now have actually reached a 7-year high, very, very quietly? I think one of the reasons it was quiet, or as far as feeling like it was a little quiet, is because it happened during the summer. And during the summer, we typically have an increase in price. And because we had not been driving quite as much and filling up quite as often, we didn't quite see that happen as quickly as or notice it like we normally would. But one of the things that's starting to become evident is the fact that prices have not retreated in their normal cycle that we would normally have, where we go from summer to winter and we have fewer people on the road, and typically supply increases again and the prices come down, because typically what we're seeing is that the price increase is being driven by supply and demand. What we're seeing, though, is the result of a decision that's being made by OPEC, who are the oil producing countries around the world, not to ramp up supply so that the price will come down. And we now have a squeeze, along with the supply chain issues that I described last week, on the actual supply of crude oil for the manufacturing of gasoline. Bottom line, prices are up. We do expect prices to stay up a little bit longer. But if and when U.S. producers begin to produce again at the same rates that they had prior to the pandemic, then the supply issue could possibly now right itself. And it is being predicted that prices will start to go down in 2022. What does that mean for you?
Yeah. What does that mean for me?
Look at your budgets. you probably need to build in an additional $50 to $60 per month as far as your fuel cost, not only for your car, but possibly also because natural gas is increasing in pricing also. And we're getting ready to go into the winter months. And I would say you probably need to look at another $30 to $50 increase in your bills concerning your gas and electric bills coming up for the winter.
Yeah.
Plan out your budgets.
I want to add one more thing to your, yes, plan out your budgets. And also, I just heard on this week that they're asking Governor Hochul to reduce the state's tax, which I understand is about 46 cents a gallon. So we'll see what happens there.
We'll see what happens there. Okay, I'm not going to step into that one, George.
I know that's right. Well, I'm just saying
listen.
they asked her. We'll see.
Exactly. Okay. But if that happens, then obviously the things that I just described will even themselves out, and we won't. I would not plan on that.
No. That's what I'm saying. Forget about that. You told us what to do. We've been. Winter is coming. Put that
Winter
money
is coming.
and do what Vicki said. I'm just saying they're trying to help New Yorkers with some relief. And if you're in California, you're already Vicki,
yes, if you're in California, they're talking about the possibility of $5 a gallon gas by the beginning of the new year. In fact, George, as I was coming home last night, I did see a $4 sign here in Syracuse. It wasn't on regular gas. It was actually on diesel.
But like, it may be $5 now because when we were out there, it's typically $1 more than it is here. So it was like, let me tell you how it was, Vicki. I was happy to find gas for $4.09.
Whoa.
Wait, happy to find it for $4.09 when I was out there.
But you did mention something. Thank you for saying that I did read in one of the articles, and that came from AAA, that this is the time. Although I told you to plan out your budgets and make sure that you had anywhere from around $50 to $60 more as far as your automobile gasoline budget, and another 40 or 50 as far as your natural gas for your heating of your home. One of the things AAA pointed out is that there are opportunities for shopping. Pay attention to what the prices are in the surrounding areas so that you can get the best price, because it's not consistent as far as the pricing is concerned. And you may find opportunities for saving depending on the type of, which company it is.
You mean gas wise?
Gas wise, as far as your
all right. So and I got a hack for you.
Oh,
Gas Buddy.
That was where I was going. Gas Buddy.
Go ahead.
Okay. Use Gas Buddy, which will give you a mapping of what the pricing looks like in your local area. Yeah, and because we're in Syracuse, it's not like you have to drive 1,000 miles to get to another place.
And for people that don't know, Gas Buddy is an app. You download it, and then it tells you the lowest price for fuel in your area. And a lot of it's also, it's driven by drivers, and so they can update it. Is that the price that it is for right now? So
it's constantly being updated by users.
Yes.
Okay, as they actually fill up.
Gas Buddy. If you haven't,
Gas Buddy.
Yes.
Okay, which you can get in the App Store for any of your providers. Okay, George, I think we covered just about everything we needed to.
Yes, we did. Your birthday.
My birthday. My birthday. If you have any questions, feel free to give me a call at 315-930-4499, 315-930-4499, or reach out to me at info@Brackens, Brackens, FSN.com. Of course, watch us on YouTube, like, share, and subscribe. We can also be found on Facebook and Twitter. And George, I'll say at this point in time, my plate is full.
All right. Vicki Brackens is the president of Brackens Financial Solutions Network, LLC, and a registered representative of LPL Financial member SIPC. She is America's money maven.